Have you ever been asked something that seemed kind on the surface, but deep down, you felt something wasn't quite right? The tone is soft, the smile is gentle, but the moment you respond, you feel it. Something inside you stirs, that feeling of doubt, the understanding that you've just walked into a trap without even seeing it coming. The question isn't born of curiosity. It is about control. It isn't a request for clarity. It is an attempt to shape your reality, to make you question your instincts, your judgment, and ultimately, your truth. The worst part is that it doesn't come at you with force. It reaches you quietly, with a calm voice and a charming smile, slowly tearing down your confidence until you question everything you ever stood for. This is how manipulation works, through subtle, calculated questions. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Once you recognize this tactic, it will never take you by surprise again. You will begin to see through the lies, to stay centered, and to protect your inner peace. They understood that the key to inner freedom lies not in reacting to manipulation, but in responding with clarity, moderation, and unshakable strength. If you are ready to stand firm, rooted in your own truth, subscribe for your own journey towards self-mastery, where your clarity is your power. Let's dive into the topic. 1. Why are you being so sensitive? Have you ever been in a situation where someone questioned your feelings, making you feel as if you were overreacting? You may have been told, "Why are you so sensitive?" At first, it sounds harmless, right? Almost as if the person was simply trying to understand your point of view. But when you look deeper, you realize something unsettling. That question isn't truly aimed at seeking clarity. It is about undermining your perception. It is a subtle way to invalidate your emotions, suggesting that you are the one who is wrong for feeling something deeply. It can make you question yourself and wonder if your feelings are justified. But there is a truth many overlook. Sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a strength. We often think of sensitivity as a weakness, especially in a world that values toughness and emotional detachment. But in reality, sensitivity is a tool that helps us notice things others miss. Think about it. An expert detective can pick up subtle details that escape everyone else's attention. A parent can sense when something is wrong with their child, even when the signs aren't spoken. This ability to grasp the invisible is a form of emotional intelligence that, when combined with reason, becomes a powerful radar for detecting truth. This doesn't just apply to detectives or parents. It applies to all of us. In relationships, whether personal or professional, your sensitivity can alert you to potential problems even before they arise. It is like a quiet inner voice warning you when something isn't quite right. However, manipulators or those with hidden agendas will often try to make you doubt this instinct. They want you to believe you are exaggerating, that your feelings are overblown, and that your intuition isn't reliable. But here is the key. When you own your sensitivity, you turn it into your greatest asset. Sensitivity isn't about being weak. It is about being in tune with the world around you. We often suffer more in imagination than in reality. What this means is that our fears and anxieties are frequently inflated by our own doubts. When we start to question our feelings, we amplify that internal struggle, and it can make us feel weaker than we are. But if we accept our sensitivity as a tool of perception rather than something to be ashamed of, we begin to build a stronger, more resilient foundation for ourselves. The next time someone asks you, "Why are you so sensitive?" do not shrink back. Hold your ground. Respond with clarity and confidence. I am not being sensitive. I am being perceptive. This shift in perspective turns a moment of doubt into a statement of strength. Instead of following the manipulator's narrative, you take control. And in that moment, you will likely see a shift in the energy around you. When someone tries to undermine your feelings, they may back down once they realize you aren't easily swayed by attempts to question your reality. It's important to understand that this doesn't mean you should become overly defensive or attack the other person. The goal is not to react emotionally to every challenge, but to respond with measured calm. You have power over your own mind, not over external events. Recognizing this brings strength. By controlling your reaction, you regain command of the situation. This isn't about dismissing others' feelings or refusing to listen. It's about not letting them dictate your emotional state. Think of times when someone tried to tell you your feelings were too strong or exaggerated? What if, instead of apologizing for being sensitive, you simply acknowledged your perception? After all, your perception is your reality. And when you validate your own feelings, you stop giving power to those who try to manipulate or dismiss you. One of the most empowering things you can do is to stop apologizing for being perceptive. Being aware of subtle dynamics, noticing what others overlook, and trusting your instincts are valuable skills. When you stop questioning those abilities, you reclaim your confidence. The next time someone tells you you're too sensitive, don't take it as criticism. See it as confirmation that you're tuned into something they might be trying to hide. Instead of becoming defensive, remember that you are simply paying attention to what others miss. Sensitivity is often a sign of inner strength, not weakness. People who are truly in touch with their emotions and surroundings have a greater capacity for empathy and awareness. They understand what's happening around them because they listen, not just with their ears, but with their heart. Recognizing this helps you see the power in honoring your feelings. Rather than viewing sensitivity as something to avoid, start seeing it as a tool that guides you toward truth. So, the next time you hear that familiar question, why are you so sensitive? Pause and reflect. Recognize it for what it is, and attempt to make you doubt yourself. Respond not with defensiveness, but with calm confidence. Embrace your sensitivity. It's not a weakness, but a strength that can lead to deeper understanding and personal growth. In doing so, you not only stand firm in your own truth, but empower others to do the same. Now consider another question you might have heard. You trust me, don't you? It sounds simple enough, almost sweet, like a request for reassurance or a genuine wish for closeness. But when you really think about it, isn't there something uncomfortable about that question? It isn't just a question, it's a tactic, a carefully crafted move designed to put you on the spot. The words may sound innocent, but beneath them lies a layer of pressure, pushing you to silence your doubts, to stop questioning, and to simply accept their word without scrutiny. Here's the problem with that question. Real trust isn't something that can be demanded. It's built over time, earned through actions, consistency, and transparency. Genuine trust isn't about asking for it. It's about demonstrating it. Think about it. When someone shows up for you day after day, when they keep their promises, that's how trust is established. Trust is a product of integrity, not manipulation. When someone asks, "You trust me, don't you?" what they're really doing is asking you to give them something they haven't earned. Your faith, your trust, your blind loyalty. They're asking you to ignore your instincts, to stop thinking critically, and to simply hand over your trust. That isn't genuine trust. That's control. It's about getting you to abandon your own judgment and believe in something even when your gut tells you things aren't as they seem. Carl Jung once observed that the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself wholly. This idea extends beyond self-acceptance to the ability to confront reality exactly as it is, regardless of how uncomfortable it may be. When someone asks, "Do you trust me?" they are often attempting to manipulate your perception of reality, hoping to make you feel guilty for questioning them. They seek your belief without any real foundation of trust. A wiser approach is to trust based on reason, reflection, and personal judgment, not blindly. When faced with that question, take a deep breath. There is no need to feel rushed or pressured into a response. A calm, measured reply is your strongest defense. You might say, "Trust is something built over time. Are you asking me to abandon my own judgment?" This is simple but powerful answer shifts the dynamic. It redirects the focus onto the other person's actions and challenges them to demonstrate they are worthy of your trust. It forces them to consider whether their behavior has earned your confidence or if they are simply trying to manipulate you into giving it. Trust should never be about letting someone dictate your feelings or demanding loyalty. It is about choosing where to invest your energy and whom you allow into your inner circle. Genuine trust is earned gradually through consistency, openness, and the courage to keep one's word. The real question is not, "Do you trust me?" but rather, Have your actions shown me that you deserve my trust? Therein lies true power. Trust is a decision you make, not a demand placed upon you. When someone tries to pressure you into trusting them, it is essential to pause and reflect. What do their actions say? Do they align with their words? Are they open and transparent? Trust is not about believing in someone without evidence. It is about recognizing when someone's actions match their promises. Trust is earned by showing up for others, not by asking for it directly. If the question catches you off guard, remember that your judgment is your power. Do not let anyone take it from you with a simple query. This approach is not about resisting others or shutting them out. It is about maintaining clarity and control over your own decisions. You do not need to apologize for questioning someone or for wanting more than empty promises. Your trust is a valuable gift, one that should be given wisely and with discernment. So when you are asked, "Don't you trust me?" take a step back. Let the question sit for a moment. Instead of answering immediately, consider what the person has shown you. Have they earned your trust through their actions? Have they been consistent, honest, and reliable? If not, do not be afraid to speak your mind. Trust is earned. You can say that it is built over time, and for now, you need to see more. When you begin to recognize manipulation for what it is, you also start to realize how much power you hold. Your judgment, your ability to think clearly and make decisions based on reason, is one of the most powerful tools you possess. Do not let anyone pressure you into abandoning it. Stand firm in your own discernment and let your trust reflect someone's true worth, not serve as a weapon to control you. By doing this, you not only protect yourself from manipulation, but also reclaim the power to make decisions that align with your values. In a world full of subtle pressures, knowing when and where to place your trust is an exceptional strength. And, much like those who value reason and integrity, you will find that living with clarity and principle brings you closer to the life you are meant to live. 3. Are you accusing me? Have you ever brought up something that bothered you, only to be met with the reply, "Are you accusing me?" Suddenly, you are the one under scrutiny. The focus shifts from the actual issue to your intentions, turning you into the subject of the conversation instead of the matter you wanted to address. That is the tricky part. What should have been a healthy, open discussion becomes a defensive battle, where you must justify yourself against accusations that were never even made. The question, "Are you accusing me?" is a classic manipulation tactic. It is designed to unsettle you and make you doubt yourself. It is not truly a question. It is a calculated maneuver to shift the power dynamic. Instead of addressing the problem, the manipulator tries to make you feel guilty for even mentioning it. It is an attempt to redirect the conversation, put you on the defensive, and ultimately derail the discussion. You end up trying to explain or justify your actions when you should be talking about the actual problem. Recognizing this tactic is crucial. It is a subtle yet effective way to control the situation. The moment you are made to feel that the problem is your accusation, the real focus is lost. What began as an honest concern about an issue becomes a challenge to your character. And that is exactly what the manipulator wants: control over the narrative by asking, "Are you accusing me?" They not only divert attention from the real problem, but also transfer the emotional burden onto you. They make you question your own perception and react emotionally. When someone asks you this, do not fall into the trap of defending yourself. The key is not to react emotionally, but to respond with clarity and calm. A powerful way to handle this is to pause, look the person in the eye, and calmly ask, "Should I be?" This simple, steady response reclaims your footing. It forces the manipulator to confront their own actions without pulling you into the emotional chaos they are trying to create. In that moment, you are no longer caught in their game. You have not accused them of anything. You have simply invited them to reflect on their behavior. It is a way to keep the conversation centered on what truly matters. By responding this way, you maintain control of the situation and avoid being swept up in their emotions. There is no need to raise your voice, point fingers, or escalate the conflict. The power of silence and a composed reply can often be more effective than any heated exchange. Think about the last time you were put in a similar position. How did you react? Did you feel pressured to explain yourself, to justify your concerns? Most people do. It is natural to want to be understood and to have your feelings validated. But by engaging with the manipulator's tactic, you are giving them exactly what they want: control. They want you focused on yourself, so you lose sight of the real issue. When you respond calmly and ask, "Should I?" you are taking control of both the conversation and your own emotions. When someone tries to manipulate you, it often says more about them than about you. Their attempt to shift attention from their behavior to your intentions reveals something about their character. It is not about your accusation. It is about their inability to face their own actions without deflection. By recognizing this pattern, you gain deeper insight into the manipulation at play. The key to handling this question, and any question designed to manipulate, is awareness. We should not react impulsively, but respond with wisdom and clarity. A calm reply compels the manipulator to face their own actions without dragging you into an emotional conflict. By refusing to engage in the emotional confusion they are trying to provoke, you preserve your inner peace. This approach does not mean ignoring the problem or letting it go. It means confronting it directly, without being distracted by emotional sideshows. It means maintaining your composure. The happiness of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts. Similarly, your peace and stability often depend on the quality of your responses. You have control over how you react. When you answer with composure and clarity, you avoid being pulled into a battle of egos and accusations. There is no need to become defensive. Your calm presence speaks for itself. The next time someone challenges you with a question like, "Are you accusing me?" or "Am I asking you a question?" pause for a moment. Do not rush to defend yourself. Instead, consider what is truly happening. Are they diverting attention from their own behavior? Are they trying to make you feel guilty simply for raising an issue? If so, respond with firmness by asking, "Should I feel guilty?" This simple reply is a powerful tool. It returns the power to where it belongs, to you. This approach is grounded in self-awareness and emotional discipline. While emotional reactions are natural, they often lead us astray. When you respond with reflection, you rise above manipulation and remain true to your principles. You keep your clarity and avoid falling into someone else's game. Ultimately, a manipulator's tactic only works if you allow it. By staying calm and replying with clarity, you regain control of the situation. You do not have to be swept into their emotional chaos. You dictate how to respond, and that is where your real power lies. Now consider another common phrase. Would I lie to you? This may seem harmless at first, even reassuring, but there is often a hidden intention behind it. It is not a simple inquiry. It is a carefully crafted tactic designed to make you feel guilty for doubting them. They are not just asking for trust. They are attempting to manipulate your perception of the truth. It is as if they want you to stop questioning, to silence your doubts, and to accept what they say without scrutiny. Think about it. Honesty should not need to be defended. If someone is truly honest, their actions should speak louder than their words. Truth is evident. It does not require constant validation or reassurance. So when someone asks, "Would I lie to you?" what they are really trying to do is make you feel guilty for considering the possibility. They sense your doubt, and instead of addressing it directly, they twist the conversation to put you on the defensive. Rather than facing the issue at hand, they want you to question your own judgment. They want you to feel unreasonable for having doubts in the first place. This question is a red flag. It is a manipulative maneuver meant to corner you into either trusting them blindly or feeling guilty for questioning their integrity. They want you to overlook inconsistencies in their behavior or statements. But here's the key. When someone asks you this, it is a sign they are trying to shift focus away from their actions. They know their actions do not align with their words, and instead of acknowledging it, they want you to stop asking difficult questions. Staying true to yourself means honoring your own perceptions and instincts, even when others try to manipulate you into doubting them. So how should you respond when someone asks, "Would I lie to you?" The best reply is to stay calm and question the question itself. Instead of being drawn into an emotional defense, Step back and say, that is not the question. The question is, would I know if you did? This simple yet powerful response forces the manipulator to confront their own actions. It shifts the focus from you back onto them. It also serves as a reminder that trust cannot be demanded. It is built over time through consistent and transparent actions. Trust is not about asking for it. It is about earning it. Here, the question itself falls apart. When someone asks, would I lie to you? They are requesting trust they haven't earned. They want to skip the natural process of building confidence and jump straight to the trust me phase. Even when their actions don't deserve that trust, a person with integrity doesn't need to repeatedly ask for it. Their honesty and consistency speak for themselves. If they truly had your best interests at heart, they wouldn't need to manipulate you into believing them. They would show you through their behavior. A genuinely trustworthy person doesn't need to constantly prove or defend their actions. Their words and actions align, and they aren't afraid of scrutiny or questions. It's the person who has something to hide, who tries to control the narrative, redirect the conversation, and make you feel guilty for even considering they might not be telling the truth. One of the most powerful things you can do in response to this question is to stay calm and detached. Don't engage in an emotional battle. Don't let yourself be pulled into a tug of war where you're forced to defend your doubts. Instead, pause, breathe, and refocus the conversation on what is actually true. Ask yourself, do their actions match their words? Have they been consistent, honest, and transparent with you? Those are the real questions that matter. When you challenge someone's manipulative tactics in this way, you not only protect yourself from being swayed by their lies, you also set a boundary. You show them you won't be manipulated into blind trust. You won't feel guilty for noticing inconsistencies. This doesn't mean you should become cynical or distrustful, but that you should prioritize clarity and truth in your relationships. It's also worth noting that when someone constantly asks for reassurance, it's often a sign of their own insecurity. Liars need constant validation because they know they can't be trusted. They need you to quiet your doubts because they're afraid of being exposed. A person of integrity, on the other hand, doesn't need constant validation. They stand by their actions because they know their behavior matches their words. We waste time when we allow people to manipulate us, distract us from the truth, and make us question our own judgment. The time spent defending against unnecessary guilt or manipulation could be better used living with clarity and purpose. By refusing to participate in these manipulative games, we reclaim our time and energy for what truly matters. So the next time someone asks, would I lie to you? Don't let it throw you off balance. Don't let it distract you from the real issue. Instead, respond with calm and clarity. Remember that trust is earned through consistent and transparent actions, not by demanding it or manipulating someone into giving it. When you stand firm in your own judgment and recognize these tactics for what they are, you protect yourself from being influenced by empty promises. In the end, your integrity and your truth will always be stronger than any manipulative question. Now, consider another common deflection. Can't we just move on? Have you ever been in a situation where something felt clearly wrong, but you couldn't quite pinpoint why? You raised a concern, pointed out a lie, or noted something that didn't seem right, only for the other person to say, can't we just move on? At first, it might sound like they're trying to keep the peace, as if they want to avoid conflict. It sounds like a plea for harmony, doesn't it? But in reality, this is a tactic meant to silence you, to get you to drop the subject before they face any consequences for their actions. This phrase is often used by manipulators who have already lied, twisted the truth, or tried to distort your perception. They know they've done something wrong, but instead of owning up to it, they want to move forward without addressing the problem. The longer you hold on to the concern, the more uncomfortable it becomes for them. Their hope is that you'll grow tired, feel awkward, or even guilty for insisting on the topic. They want to shift the focus from their actions onto your discomfort, making you feel like you're the one at fault for having brought it up in the first place. The key is to recognize that this maneuver is not aimed at achieving peace. Its purpose is to avoid accountability. The goal is to make you surrender your right to clarity, to move past the issue without receiving the answers or resolution you deserve. They rely on your willingness to back down. However, there is a resilient response to this. Do not retreat. Stand firm in your commitment to the truth and in your right to seek understanding. The most effective path is not emotional retaliation or engaging in destructive confrontation. It is about maintaining composure, asserting your boundaries, and remaining true to your principles. This is the core of self-possession. When met with the question, "Can't we just move on?" your reply should be calm, measured, and steadfast. There is no need to raise your voice or escalate the conflict. Simply state, "I will move on when I fully understand what happened, not a moment before." This declaration reclaims your power. You are not backing down, and you are not letting them off the hook. You are affirming your right to clarity and resolution without being pulled into an emotional battle. This stance is not about being difficult or stubborn. It is about self-respect and your right to pursue the truth. If someone has lied or manipulated you, they do not get to bypass the issue simply because it is inconvenient for them. They must face it. This approach is not about holding a grudge or creating unnecessary drama. It is about ensuring that unresolved matters are properly addressed. The truth, ultimately, has a way of bringing real peace, not the superficial kind that comes from sweeping problems under the rug. Manipulators are often effective because they can create discomfort. They want you to feel that you are making a big deal out of nothing, that you are the one being difficult. Yet this tactic only works if you allow it. The moment you agree to move on without addressing the problem, you become complicit in allowing the manipulation to continue. You are letting them set the pace and decide when the issue is over. But remember, truth does not have an expiration date. It is not something that can be shelved simply because it is inconvenient for someone else. Furthermore, letting a matter slide does not benefit you or anyone else in the long run. By moving forward and addressing the issue directly, you protect your own sense of integrity. You ensure that your needs are heard and respected. In doing so, you help create a healthier dynamic where accountability is valued and issues are dealt with before they grow into larger problems. When dealing with a manipulative person, the last thing you should do is let them dictate the timeline for resolution. Truth does not operate on their schedule. It cannot be rushed or ignored merely because it is inconvenient. Time is the tool they use to wear you down, to make you feel you must move on before everything is clear. But we have control over how we navigate these moments. We do not have to rush. We can choose to remain calm, clear-headed, and firm no matter how much pressure is applied. This way forward is not about forcing others to adhere to your will. It is about maintaining your own integrity and holding fast to your principles, even in the face of manipulation. When someone asks, "Can't we just move on?" it is not about punishing them or unnecessarily prolonging the conversation. It is about standing your ground. It is about ensuring your voice is heard, your concerns are acknowledged, and you are not forced to leave something behind without the closure you deserve. So, the next time someone tries to rush you into letting go of an unresolved issue, pause. Do not let them dictate when things should end. Hold fast to your commitment to the truth. Reply with calm firmness, "I will move forward when I fully understand what happened and not a moment before." This not only allows you to retain control, but also establishes a powerful boundary, signaling to others that you value clarity, truth, and mutual respect. The Stoic path involves remaining steady in the face of emotional pressure that seeks to sidestep what is true. By holding firm to your principles and resisting the urge to move forward prematurely, you gain the strength to make choices that reflect your core values. You cultivate a space where genuine peace can be established, not a peace built on avoiding difficult truths, but on confronting them with resolve and clarity. In doing so, you not only guard yourself, but also lead by example, demonstrating to others that honesty, integrity, and respect are worth upholding, regardless of external pressures to rush ahead. Remember, authentic peace does not come from sidestepping hard conversations. It arises from meeting them with clear-eyed strength. When you stand firm in your commitment to truth, you reclaim control over your life and your relationships. Never allow anyone to hurry you into silence or dismiss your legitimate concerns. You deserve understanding, respect, and real resolution. If this connected with you, consider exploring one of the suggested videos on your screen. Continue to strengthen your inner resilience. Thank you for being here. Stay strong, stay true, and keep walking the path of wisdom.